Yo, getting you week number 2 of ESPN de OCHO. Damn, week one. Week one was good, man. There's a lot of exciting stuff. You know, Josh paying on the spot Oscar 20 bucks, red hot 20 bucks for that loss that he bet. I mean, the bet that he lost. Yeah. It was great. I mean, him counting out him and Rich for the loss. It's a little bit too soon for Rich. Not too soon for Josh, though. Watching Mondo literally shake. You should have seen his eyes. His eyes were just all over the place. Me looking at him trying to look at me whilst tapping that ass. Oh, and then his players just going down like flies. Oh, week one was just too good. I had to top it off with El Torito and unlimited mimosas, so it was bomb. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on week 2, and we're gonna get on into it right now with Jay the Slay versus Oscar So Hard Dalton. Yes, So Hard Dalton, just how he did it. But the pass is the pass. Week 1, I think some people can afford some losses, but when you get the W, it feels even better. We're gonna move on to the quarterbacks, Drew Brees and Jackson from Baltimore. I think both of the matchups are good. Baltimore is playing Arizona. I think Arizona is a pretty decent team. Murray definitely got a lot of people by surprise. Drew Brees against the Raiders at home, bit of a revenge game. I think it's going to be a lot of points for Drew Brees. And you got McCaffrey, Ingram. Both of them look nice, but Ingram I think is going to come back down to the ceiling that he had with the Dolphins because they're not playing the Dolphins every week. We already know that. Michael Thomas and Amari Cooper and Landry on the flex, all three of them look really good for this week. I mean, I think they're all going to get a pretty good amount of points. Hooper against Philly, I think it's kind of a question mark, but it's Philly and it's in Atlanta and they got to get the W this week, so they're going to play hard and it's at home for them, so I think they're going to be okay. Let's see. On the other hand, with Oscar, Barkley and Chubb both didn't really have good opening days as far as points, but I think Chubb is going to come back and get some points this week, and Barkley also against Buffalo, although Buffalo is a pretty underrated defense. When you look at Oscar's flex, Kerryon Johnson, you got to be a little bit worried about Kerryon Johnson just because they didn't give him too many opportunities, and not only that, C.J. Anderson looked pretty damn fucking decent in that offense, so a lot of question marks right there. I think, but like I said, I think Diggs bounces back. And I also see just fucking, Tyrell Lockett having a pretty decent game against Pittsburgh just because Pittsburgh, although they do play better at home, I just don't think they're all that elite. And not only that, but Jay's defense, Patriots against Miami, holy fuck, Miami looks like they are utter complete trash. They look worse than the fucking Giants. And we got a bit of a surprise with adding Jordan Hicks on the defensive player lineup. I think that's pretty nice, pretty good move. He gets a lot of tackles. I think Jordan Hicks is an underrated linebacker, and he didn't look bad as far as his first suit up with the Arizona Cardinals. Who do I got as a pick here? I'm going with Jay the Slay. You know, I don't think he shot his low too early, as some people might say, but I think he is going to get the W week number 2, going undefeated so far as the season. I like the matchups. I like the team he's got, and Oscar has been proven without a doubt that he is Dalton, and there is no other hard Dalton like him. All right, so Jay, got the W for you, buddy. Week number 2, let's just get this out the way. Me, Kev, going up against the Chubbs, Marcos. Now, this is a kind of interesting matchup a little bit just because obviously Marcos has a lot of Philly players, and I'm playing Carson Wentz, who is the captain, the leader, the alpha of the team. But I think it's pretty nice. Wentz going up against Atlanta. Atlanta didn't look too good. Bell against Cleveland, who I'm a little bit kind of whatever about, but I think he'll be okay. And then Cook, I'm a little bit worried about Green Bay going into that house and trying to get some big points. A little bit worried, but not too worried. I think Evans bounces back from his chorro diarrhea incident from last week. He was sick to his stomach. Believe me, he put me sick to my stomach too. But Godwin at least got me a touchdown. And God, Jameis Winston looked like utter complete shit. I don't know what the fuck, but I think he's going to slap out of it tomorrow against the Panthers. Although it's kind of tough, but it is a division game, and those guys kind of play each other hard, so they're going to be throwing the ball, so why the fuck not? Delaney Walker looks back, and he said he was going to come back mean and hard, so I think he's going to be a top 10 tight end throughout the whole season, hopefully to God. And I'm playing Calvin Ridley against my Philly defense. Philly can't really stop a lot of people. Plus, they're going and they're going to play hard, like I said, Atlanta, and they got to get the W. And I think Ridley's a pretty good wide receiver, too. He's not Sanu, so I think he's going to be okay. And I added the Titans defense on my defensive spot and benching Minnesota just because I like Indy and all, but I just don't see it. The game is in Tennessee. It's a division game, so I think they'll be okay. I think it'll be all right for my matchups. Baker Mayfield getting the start against New York Jets for Marcos' team. I think that's not bad. I think he bounces back from last week. He got a lot of shit last week. But then at the same time, when you hype your team up too hard, a lot of teams are going to come at you. So I think that's what happened. Duke Johnson against Jacksonville, I do not like that matchup too much. Jordan Howard, like I said, I don't trust any Philly back right now, although he did look good. But at the same time, all running backs are good. Miles Sanders, Darren Sproles. Miles Sanders missed that. He got the touchdown, but they called it back for holding offense on the line. And then I do fear Marcos' wide receivers, of course, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, and Deshaun Jackson in Atlanta. I think it's going to be tough. And Zach Ertz, too. I think he's going to get some pretty decent points as well. And he's also playing the kicker and the Philly defense, so you already know how Marcos goes. He stacks them up and racks them up, so I think that's going to be kind of his downfall. Who do I got winning? I think I got myself winning this week. Marcos, I like the team. I like the matchups you got. I love the receivers. But it's just hard for me to pick a guy who has too many Philly players. I like the matchup and everything, Sunday Night Football, but I just don't think I see it there. And I want some players, and hopefully some players bounce back, but I cannot deny the productivity on my team. So I'm going in week number 2, getting 2 dubs on the road. For me, baby. Although it kind of seems like a bye, doesn't it? I don't know. Next matchup. Josh, Show Me Nothing versus Cut Me the Barber / Cut My Lineup, because it didn't look too good for week 1. But again, it's week 1. But yeah, it's Josh versus the Barber for the week 2 matchups. Now, I like both of these quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Minnesota. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, but Minnesota's tough too. Deshaun Watson against Jacksonville. I think he'll be okay. I don't love the matchups that too much, but I like them. Chris Carson looked great against. I think he'll do good against Pittsburgh. Chris Thompson adding to the lineup right now for Josh. A bit of a toss-up right now with Dallas, and he's also, I believe, playing the Dallas Cowboys defense, which is not bad at all. But Chris Thompson, I mean, who knows? It's a bit of a toss-up. But I'll tell you this, I do like the receivers. DJ Moore and Devontae Adams, you can't count them out, especially for the matchups. Kelsey against Oakland, that looks juicy as fuck. I think you're trying to play any Oakland or any KC player right now. Robinson against Denver. I think Denver's a little bit mad. They're playing at Denver. Denver plays a little bit different when they're at home. And Trubisky, let's see if he can throw the ball. So it's kind of a toss-up right now with that matchup. Let's look at the Barbers lineup. I think Connor and Sony both have pretty good matchups. They're playing at home for Connor, but it is Seattle. But as we saw, the Bengals kind of did some stuff to Seattle. And Pittsburgh, from what we know, they play different at home. And Sony Michel's got the juiciest matchup of the week, maybe, besides somebody else. But you want to start any Patriot player right now. And Sony Michel, he didn't have a great game, but he's going to have a terrific game against Miami because Miami cannot stop anybody. Just watch out for that curse. Patriots kind of do play weird in Miami. I don't know, it's weird, but yeah. Thielen, from the record that we showed, Thielen always kills at Green Bay. So I don't know. I think he'll get some good points. Cooper Kupp looks pretty good too as far as the week 2 matchup against New Orleans. Bit of a revenge game going on right there, but I think he'll get some good points. Jarwin, too many questions. Oh, we got a switch of a lineup right here. It was who was it before? It was Breida on the flex, but now we're playing Williams from Oakland, who got a lot of points last week and going up against KC. Okay. I did have Breida here in my lineup, but he's just switched it up. Late news, alert. He just switched up to Williams, so I think it changes up the difference a little bit, but not too much. I do like him against KC. The game is at, I believe, yeah, it is in Oakland, so who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Who I got winning this week? I think I got to give it to Josh. I think the matchups are a little bit better for him. I do like the receiving core. I think it's a bit of a toss up though. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh loses, but I'm gonna give you Josh the W, just because you kind of need that W right now. But I think there's too many question marks, especially with that 49er defense against Cincinnati at Cincinnati. We saw what they did to Seattle, so who knows? I don't think Joe Mixon is gonna play too, so who knows? But I do got Josh getting the W, his first W, as we can say. Moving on to the next matchup, we got who do we got? Who is this? Yes. So this is gonna be a good week for both of these guys. I think they got some pretty good. This is a good matchup, without a doubt. It's Richard, Lucky Comeback Daddy versus Gabe. Show me them TDs. I'm sorry. Show me. Sorry to disrespect you guys. Show me them TDs. By the way, not taking half of my win because I did the GM skills. I appreciate the trade. It was just a trade I could say no to. But moving on to this matchup, Brady looking juicy as fuck against Miami. As we know, Miami can't stop shit, like I said. But look out for that curse. Like I said, they play kind of weird in Miami, so who the fuck knows? Let's see, who else? Jones, that's a bit of a toss-up right now, too. I think you got to start him, but Minnesota, I get it, they're at home, but Minnesota is no joke. As we saw, they fucking pretty much shut out Atlanta. Who else? The wide receivers look juicy as fuck, though. He's got pretty much Alshon Jeffrey and D.D. Westbrook. Alshon in Atlanta, D.D. Westbrook against Houston. We saw both of them. Defense can't stop the wide receivers, so I think they look nice. I think Andrews comes back down to life. I don't think he does get those points. Eckler showing that he wants productivity. They showing him they want to give him the ball. I think he's going to have a good week again. Too, the Seattle defense against Pittsburgh. It's kind of weird, dude. Pittsburgh plays different at home, so who the fuck knows? I mean, that's a bit of a weirdo. Moving on to Gabe's lineup. Dak, he's not scoring 4 TDs against Washington at Washington. I'll tell you that much right now. Washington's a very underrated defense, and plus they play very different at home. So look out right there. But I do like the matchup, especially with Zeke. I think he'll even throw him a touchdown. I think he'll even throw a touchdown to Zeke for this game. I think Zeke has one of his good games right here going on for week 2. Marlon Mack I like against Tennessee, but not too much. Tennessee is no joke on the defensive side. We already know that. And you're starting Sammy Watkins after last week that you didn't, but this week it looks very, very, very nice against Oakland. Oakland, although they lost a player, they lost a cornerback and maybe a safety, so Sammy Watkins looking like a sure shell starter. Oh, check this out. Ring, ring, ring. Oh, Hunter Henry is out for the game, maybe 4 to 8, 6 weeks. Who the fuck knows? Hunter Henry is looking very dangerous. He's got to drop somebody to pick him up. I don't think he has not made the move yet, so look out for people. He might even start Ty, which, I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but I don't know if it's a bit of a risk. And Leonard Fournette looked really good, really good. And do you trust DeAndre Hopkins, the kicker of Washington? I don't know. And then the defense, Chicago Bears looks really nice against Denver. I don't think Denver can score on the Bears, but who do I got winning this week? I got Rich winning this week. I think he's going with the momentum. I think his team looks pretty nice. He's got some questions here and there, but the matchups are just too juicy. I think whenever you play Miami, it's just you gotta give yourself a W. Miami's a fucking joke, dude. Honestly. So Rich going on undefeated so far. All right. Sorry, Gabe, but I think these are the projections right now. Another matchup right now going on to right now. Week number 2. Emery eject, maybe a little too soon. And Turo, don't sleep on his lineup right now. Got a little bit lucky last week. But let's see what's going on right now. I think Emery's got some pretty good matchups right now. Both of these QB matchups look really nice. Jared Goff, New Orleans, Matt Ryan, Philly. At home, though, both of them look really nice. Lindsey, I don't like at all, to be honest. I mean, Chicago is no fucking joke. I don't care if they're away, home, whatever. It's no joke. And Lindsey is a pretty small guy. Those front 7 for Chicago is no joke. And let's see. McCoy looks really great against Oakland, although Oakland underrated in the front, but I think he'll be okay. And the wide receivers look juicy as fuck for Emery, I'm not going to lie. OBJ, Juju, Cooks, really, really good, juicy lineups. And he's going with TJ Hawkinson, the first rookie tight end to ever do what he did with the receiving and the yards he had last week. first ever to do it. And I think you're kind of sleeping on Tampa Bay. I mean, this is a division game. I understand it's in Carolina for the Panthers defense, but Tampa Bay is going to kind of get out of their funk. I think it's week 1. They do kind of do that for a lot of years. They kind of play really stupid in the beginning and then kind of slap out of it. So, and I think Mike Evans is going to be a factor too, because they can't really stop those wide receivers. They're too good. They're going to throw them the ball. They're going to give them chances. On the other side, we're looking at Johnson against Baltimore. I don't love it, but I kind of like it just because he gets some productivity. So I think he'll be okay. Henry, I like the matchup against Indy. I like it a lot, actually, but I don't think he gets the points that he had last week. Boyd is a must-start. Edelman's a must-start. Edelman's actually looking really juicy. Like I said, you want to start any Patriots receiver, any Patriots player. O.J. Howard, I think, catches some balls this week. And Crowder, you can't deny the productivity. So many receptions, so many targets. I think he caught 13 balls for 99 yards, so a little less under 100 yards, but he got the productivity. And the Jets defense, I mean, it definitely has potential, but you already have some players that are already kind of hurt, a little bit like C.J. Mosley and a little bit of defensive line, but I think they'll be okay. I like it, but I don't love it. Who do I get the W to here? I'm sorry, Turo. I know I counted you wrong last time, but I think I got to go with Emery. The matchups are just too fucking there for Emery. I think Emery gets his first W right now. Don't eject too soon, Emery. I think you're getting the W. Going on to matchup of the week. Here we go. This is the last matchup. I think both of these teams are really desperate, and it's bitch-ass Mondo. Where is Mondo versus Joe, the Redemptions, not Joe Yo Mama. He's looking for the redemption this week. I think both of these teams are in desperate mode. As we know, Mondo was shaking. We all saw that live and everything. I think Mahomes and Williams, juicy matchup against Oakland. Singletary's a must-start against New York Giants. We kind of caught us all by surprise, but the Bills, I mean, at this point, they're a toss-up. They're going to play, they're going to play whoever the fuck they got to play. They're one of those teams that I don't know. I think Gallup comes back to life. I don't think he scores and gets the points that he did. Obviously, Galloway is a must-start. Plus, I like the matchup this week for Galloway. He looks legit. Kettle had 2 touchdowns called back because of the offensive holding, I believe it was, or pass interference. So I think he'll be okay, especially for the matchup. And check this out. Mondo going double tight end set because literally his bench looks like a piece of shit. They all fucking died. So literally double tight end set for what Waller, the tight end for Oakland. So it looks pretty funny. The defense looks nice against Arizona. I don't think the kid will be able to move the ball too well, but I think it's kind of funny. We're getting our first tight end set for the year, so it's kind of funny. I don't know. And then the other side we got Rivers. I like, but I don't love the matchup. I mean, they're going to throw the ball against Detroit. Detroit looks like they can't really stop much, so I like it, but I don't love it, like I said. Gurley, I don't know if it's too early to hit the panic button. He did have some production, but Brown is a bit of a vulture. They didn't even use the new booty that they drafted high on, and you can tell they have him kind of on that, they kind of have him on that pinch counts because they don't really want to give him the ball too much. I understand they were high. They didn't give him the ball in the goal line too much, so it's kind of fucking weird. I don't know what you're looking at, Gurley. Josh Jacobs, I like a lot, though. The wide receivers, I like a lot. Julio Jones and Woods, both of them look really juicy matchups. Starting up Reed from Washington against Dallas. I think it's kind of a toss-up, but I think you kind of have to start Reed, maybe. And Will Fuller is a bit of a question. I think he did okay, but I don't know. I think I'll start Cohen. If it was me, maybe. Cohen just gets too many receptions and too many snaps in that offense. And the Bills Mafia defense going up against New York Giants. I guess you don't trust the Giants at all, and who should? Barkley's the only real talent in that team. Who do I got getting the W this week? For matchup of the week, I'm going with Joe. Joe's getting the first W because Mondo, I don't care what he did in the past. It doesn't fucking matter. This is a new year. Mondo, I really hope that you start off 0-2. I think it would be one of the greatest things ever. And must believe, championship hangovers are real, my friend. We've all kind of been there, although some people kind of forget about mine, but whatever. I'm fucking out the tear box. This is for Mondo. Just getting all the tears ready because he's going to fucking go 0-2, baby. Let's go. This is ESPN de OCHO, matchups of the week number 2. Bit of a long video, but I hope you guys enjoy. Good luck to everybody except Marcos and Mondo. Good night.